Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to Shifting Lanes Garage. My name's Chad. This is my Mustang, and yes, it is finally up in the air, getting work done. The guys here at Blue Sky have done all the driveline work, so we're gonna take a look at that and explain why we did that instead of doing some of the, let's just say, not catastrophically expensive options. But real quick, guys, we do have some new merch out. If you're interested in getting yourself a Hellwinkle hoodie with the American flag design, we also have a Swedish flag design that is on your screen right now. Head on down to the link in the description. This stuff is awesome. It's really high quality stuff, and we're trying a new provider. Definitely check it out, but without further ado, let's get under the car and see what goodies have been placed on it. Alrighty guys, so we are under the Mustang, obviously, with the legend that is Jeff, i.e. the owner or part owner of Blue Sky. We will put links to their Instagram and all that stuff right down below here. You definitely want to check them out, and if you are, I mean, Greg, you can just pan around the entire shop. You don't necessarily need to have a late model Mustang, anything. These guys are the guys to call, so definitely check out their information in the link below. But for the reason you guys are all here, yay, the Mustang is finally getting work done. It broke in August, so it's been about 5 months since I've driven it, and I'm getting antsy as all hell. So
big yikes.
So it's good to see that we actually finally have parts going back in the Mustang.
And that is why.
Last time we were here, the trans was out of the vehicle. We talked about that, but Jeff's gonna walk us through front to back. We actually found some modifications that the previous owner made and everything like that. But first, we have the, I guess just start with the clutch and we'll work our way back.
So it's the Mantic twin disc clutch. That's with their new flywheel as well that we've installed with it, along with a new release bearing. So you should have many miles of trouble-free clutch drops and bang shifting and all that type of stuff on there. Especially it's over clutched for what you're doing right now with power. So you know you're not going to hit the limit of it. Probably even if you're at the phase 2 of this, you probably won't hit the limit of that clutch. Obviously, we talked about the Calimer Stage 3 MT82 already. That's the best MT82 you can buy to stick in this car, as far as a factory transmission goes. And then coming back a little bit further, we got rid of the 2-piece drive shaft and opted for a carbon fiber 1-piece. Benefits to that: first benefit is safety. If that drive shaft ever breaks, it just explodes into a million pieces, which keeps, you know,
Doesn't sound safe. It just explodes into millions of little
But those that know racing know that is safe.
Exactly.
It basically turns itself into powdered carbon fiber, you know, and that's
As opposed to just being a basically broken tube that's
So we don't have shrapnel going all over the place.
And like another, you know, you think this is your fuel tank here. They call them saddle tanks. So your drive shaft passes through your fuel tank. So it's better to have it just go into a dust than have a tube banging around your floor and tearing stuff up. Not to mention it's the weight reduction on it is huge. I mean, any type of rotational mass you can take out of a drive line is big for your ET numbers.
So would you say with this and the combination of the axles, which we'll get to in a second, the rotating assembly is now lighter? Or is it about the same weight, just stronger?
So the axles you probably don't save much weight in because they don't really, I mean,
Well, I figured they were heavier.
they're heavier, right. So not much though, it's honestly, if you pick up a stock axle, it's not that big of a difference. But you picked up a lot with your drive shaft. Like, I couldn't even weigh, but that thing probably weighs, your factory one, at least 80 pounds, I would say.
Oh,
60
wow.
to 80 pounds.
It's
pretty heavy. And then this is, you know, you can pick it up with
one man liftable.
Yeah, I picked it up. It's not 60 to 80 pounds.
Now the with the 1 pieces, you know, the factory did 2-piece for comfort, and you know it's going to take out some drivetrain harshness and stuff like that for your normal everyday driver who doesn't want. But we're hot rodders here, so we don't care about that. So this is going to be a more direct power transfer to your rear axle.
So just a little more.
It's almost like a snappier type of feeling because
Gotcha.
you lose a little bit because when you accelerate, your 2-piece drive shaft deflects a little bit, so you lose a little bit of forward motion in that.
But we're also losing efficiency though if it's transmitting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, 'cause it's almost bending itself. It by design, you know.
And
if you couldn't tell, Jeff knows what he's talking about.
way more than I will ever know.
Also tucked all the way up here is an MGW shifter.
Not sure it's coming out, but
it's a short throw shifter.
Oh, there we go.
The main benefits, more positive shift engagement. Also, the factory shifter bolts to the body. So as the motor torques up, the shifter stays stationary, and that's why a lot of times you can miss gears in these cars. So now, again, you're all connected to the trans, more positive feel, quicker shifts, less misshifts, and you will, though, gain a little bit of noise and vibration harshness just inside the car. But anytime you're trying to go faster, that's kind of the...
And I don't know about you guys, but there's some... For me, I like transmission noise, that whine.
Yeah, it's cool.
I really like that.
Yeah.
You said we're saving weight on the drive shaft. Did we save much weight with the flywheel? Because obviously that thing had a lot cut out of it.
Yes. Yeah, so the flywheel is a lighter version. It was a billet steel flywheel, and then they put an insert in it so you can change the friction surface on it without resurfacing the flywheel. But it cuts weight, but not to the point, you gotta be careful. You don't want to cut too much weight because that makes it kind of a pain.
Well, don't you
going.
need some weight in the flywheel just for the benefit of the motor?
That's what it is. So when you're say you're at a stop and you go to take off with a real lightweight flywheel, you have to sound like a Honda boy. Bop, 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 but with a little bit of mass to it, that mass is helping roll the car out.
Because all of this is basically stationary, and you have to overcome that inertia.
You have to everything, the weight of the car, all that. Yeah, exactly. But it felt like it's a nice weight that the car will rev up a little bit freer for you with that flywheel.
Now with some of this stuff, because you see it on Internet Warriors and stuff like that. Now let's just say I wasn't going full Haas and boosting this. If with this drive line, would that actually give it an extra 1, 5, 10 horsepower at the wheel, or would it just be everything just spins up a little freer and it? So
yeah, I mean, if you reduce, we would have to do like a back-to-back comparison, but yeah, just by reducing. This is all part of your drivetrain loss. Anything from the flywheel back is considered drivetrain loss. So anytime you're reducing rotational mass in that, you will pick up horsepower at the rear tire. I'm not saying you made more horsepower at the engine. That is still producing. Less. You're just losing less through the drivetrain. So yeah, that's a clutch, a lighter drive shaft. Those simple mods could give you a better ET, technically. Right.
We're making the whole system more efficient.
Exactly what you're doing.
So like 350 in the engine, 300 at the wheels might be a 350 in the engine, 302, 303, something at the wheels, just from drivetrain efficiencies.
It's a small percentage, yeah, because you're talking your full, from engine to tire in general forms, it's 12 to 15% for manual cars. So you're talking maybe you knock off 0.5% off of whatever that number was, but that's just like a made up.
No, it was just one of those things where you always hear people in the Internet Warriors and the commenters or forums or now Facebook groups sitting here. It's no, I picked up blah, 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 blah. I figured there was something to it, but having someone again who knows a hell of a lot more about this stuff than I do explain it is always good. You always want to pick up, and part of this thing, since I'm paying you to do it, is to learn about the stuff without breaking breaking my knuckles and using
breaking my brain.
Yeah, rotational mass is the best bang for your buck if you're doing a weight loss to make your car faster. Rotational mass is the first place you want to go.
That was with these wheels. They're with tire 5 to 8 pounds lighter than the stock 270,
which is huge.
These wheels were 21, 22 pounds. The stock performance pack wheels are 27 to 30.
Yeah.
So that was one of the big things with these wheels was the lightweight to them. Moving back, we have the Ford Performance axles. Now, when we were talking, because like I said, I mentioned in other videos when I was sourcing out parts for this, it was, Jeff, what should I get? And we were looking, and the first suggestion was like a 900 horsepower axle, but they didn't have it in stock. So we went with these, which I believe are 1,500 horsepower axles. Is that just for future proofing, or is there an actual benefit to being way stronger than.
So yeah, it's good for obviously power. You know, you want to go further, you have it there for you. But the axles in themselves will actually help with wheel hop. Having a beefier axle in here, they kind of design that into the axles. Sometimes one is slightly longer than the other. I don't know the engineering behind it, but it does help having. They do something with the weights of the axles and this, and it helps with wheel hop, because that's a big problem with these cars, and that's what we're trying to fix here.
Alrighty, if you'll notice, we have, well, there might be a slight wardrobe change here, I guess, because it's actually our third attempt doing this this take to try to finish this video and kind of finish the driveline and sort of, I guess, would you call it handling parts with the Stop the Hop, or?
Handling and, you know, chassis stiffening and strengthening and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so, where we left off was after the drive shaft, we have these shiny, well, actually just gray parts, but, this is Steeda's Stop the Hop kit, and obviously with an independent rear suspension car, there's some more movement than, say, something that's like a solid axle. But I'm going to stop explaining and let the expert do it. Why don't you tell me what causes hop in these things and what this kit does to kind of mitigate it?
Yep. So, I mean, exactly what causes it, I'm not 100% on, but, you know, what makes it worse is an IRS car. A solid axle car generally won't wheel hop as much as an IRS car due to all the moving parts. Each moving part has a tolerance, so that allows a little bit more movement than it's supposed to have, which for comfort is great, but for, you know, performance, it lacks a little bit there. So what we did here, you know, we had the whole rear suspension out of the car. We installed lockouts for the subframe to keep that rigid to the body. We also installed alignment dowels for that because they have quite a bit of adjustment from the factory that is really not needed. We added a stiffer tow bar here, which is also going to help make tow and camber adjustments a lot easier. These vertical links are solid billet machined. Aluminum, the original ones were stamped steel, which, you know, that stamped steel piece has quite a bit of flex to it. The chassis braces, this is great because this is tying the subframe into one of the strongest parts of the car back here in the torque box area. So that is really going to keep that IRS pinned where it's supposed to be. Something else too is the Ford Performance half shafts axles. Not only are we making more power, so we don't want to break a half shaft, but there is some sort of science to half shaft design to help between the weight of them, the length of them. It all affects wheel hop somehow. And then, you know, if you do get wheel hop, your axle is kind of one of the first things to break too. So it's better to have, you know, we'll have the beefier axle in there for that.
And then obviously the whole reason we're worried about wheel hop, if you don't know, is that wheel hop breaks stuff. So whether it be axles, like Jeff said, drive shaft, trans, it can even sometimes make its way towards the motor too.
Through the clutch. I mean, it's all connected. You hope something breaks before the engine. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So at this point, now this hole from basically the clutch back is where we'll just say my idea to boost my Mustang got a little out of hand.
Preventative maintenance.
It's exactly what it is. Like, there are plenty of guys who are running the type of boost that we are, which we'll get to in the next video or two. A better clutch, a better flywheel. The stock trans, they can really run basically from the trans back pretty much stock.
Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? Like, you can make that stuff work. Is it gonna last? It's like it's kind of, you know, a small guy, you got to punch him once to knock him down. A bigger guy, you might have to punch him 10 times to knock him down. Well, we've made your car the big guy. It doesn't mean it's indestructible, but it can take more hits before it goes down.
And then, basically, if I'm correct, effectively we overbuilt the hell out of the back here. So everything from the back of the motor to basically the wheels is capable, I think, of over at least 1,000, if not over 1,000 horsepower. The Ford 8.8s, they're really strong, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, guys run way over 1,000 horsepower through an 8.8. These 8.8s are not your typical old, Ford box body or SN, S197, 88s. These are upgraded. They have a lot bigger bearing in them. That bigger bearing is going to keep deflection down, so that makes that whole ring and pinion assembly stronger than any traditional 8.8.
So basically, I had an idea, and that was to boost my Mustang, and then many thousands of dollars later, we're finally here. Next time, we're going to show the supercharger off, and get that one more step closer to actually finishing this car off and getting it back on the road just in time for, a New Jersey winter. But hey, better that than not being done.
That's called boost weather.
Yeah, it's horsepower weather, maybe not grip weather.
Yes.
But at any rate, guys, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, check out Blue Sky. If you're a car nut, their Instagram is insane. If you're looking to have work done, check them out. They can do it all, guys, and you're definitely going to want to check them out because, let's face it, these guys are the best in the business. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and hit that notification bell because, well, you're not going to want to miss the rest of this build. But again, for this one, that's a wrap, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.